Hi everybody, welcome to this news wrap of 2026, February 3rd. It's an evening one because I had a busy day today. Anyway, so what we see, we've seen in the news, I have like 6 tabs to go through, actually 5 topics. One is hackers, criminal hackers compromise NGINX server to redirect user traffic. This is smartly done because they do compromise the configuration and kind of use the load balancer approach to modify the backend target, so it's very difficult to discover. Yet, while the scripts are listed, the modified script there are listed, so this is something as an indicator of compromise if you have some server on your hand to check. The actual initial access is not defined, so it seems to be an injection, but it's not clear how they actually managed to get the initial access. So is it like leaked credential, guest credential, something to check. As always, you should have detection and response tool on this one and closely monitor. There is the old tool called Tripwire that allow you to get alert on a Linux machine if a configuration file is changed. So that's something that could be interesting on NGINX. You will have an actual notification if anything changed on the configuration side. So something to check. It's Tripwire, and there are many options to run that kind of stuff. Next one, Amazon is rolling out Alexa Plus to all US customers who are Prime members. So that's basically the advanced AI companion on the Alexa device. If you have one and you like to be spied on 24/7, I don't have one, and I will not have a smart speaker that is able to listen to me with an enable anything like that, because I value my privacy. But if you are a customer of them, obviously you do now have access in the US to this advanced stuff. I did post that on LinkedIn earlier. I didn't get some feedback, so I don't know if people actually use it. What for? I was really curious. Why do you use that? It's known to be able to be integrated with like temperature management, like a smart thermometer and stuff like that. But I really am I'm not sure about that. Anyway, next one. There is a major vulnerability found in Google Looker. That thing is kind of ERP kind of business intelligence tool, and the self-hosted one is actually at risk. So if you have one, make sure you patch it, or make sure you restrict the exposure of it, because you don't want that hacker to be able to exploit that vulnerability until it's actually patched. But that was the first thing I saw today, but the second one was even more exciting. The bug actually allows cross-tenant remote code execution and data exfiltration. And this is happening like in GCP, like Google Cloud. If you have that vulnerable instance, the attacker could jump on your instance and then move to another tenant. That's amazing. That's the cloud. Always say cloud equal leak. This is extremely funny to me to see that just with one vulnerable SaaS application, in a way, you can actually bridge and jump to other tenants that are also vulnerable. It's really funny. Anyway, so if you have it, make sure you update everything, because everything is going to be exfiltrated, including the database secrets. So if you have been running that vulnerable version, it's highly recommended to actually change all the credential and update and roll all your keys if you use a vault or anything like that, because you don't want to take the risk of having these actually in the hand of an attacker. Next thing, critical vulnerability in ASUSTOR NAS, network attached storage. It does enable complete device takeover. So the thing is, there are two branches, and actually one has a fix for the newer branch, but the old version do not have a fix yet. And one of the recommendation is actually to isolate the network, like segment that stuff, do not expose it online, because it will be abused until a fix is actually available and you applied it to the device. So for the most recent one, the ADM 5X series, you should apply the patch. For the old ones, 4X branch, you should stop the internet exposure. If you have a NAT rule redirecting internet traffic to it, just block it. And yeah, that's about it. Usually it's a bad thing to directly expose device on the internet, and I know it's convenient, but it's way better to host your own VPN, virtual private network, to your infrastructure in your infrastructure, and use that VPN to access your stuff than actually exposing them publicly. That's because it's always like a big risk, and then it's a timely issue when you get some vulnerability like that. And finally, a TP-Link vulnerability that again grant the attacker a full control of the device. And so there are a bunch of CVEs explaining how and why, basically the admin interface, the web interface, the VPN modules, and the backup tool. And basically there is an update that has been released on February 2, so 2 days ago. So if you use TP-Link and you don't have automated update, I'm not sure if all the devices do have it. You should make sure that you actually upload and upgrade to the latest patch, version 1.2.4, not to be abused. If you want all the details, as always, I will share the link in the description of the video. And if you like this news and if you want to say where, subscribe, like, and share for this video. And that's about it. I wish you a great evening and see you most likely tomorrow. Bye bye. Yay!